All right, we here. We are here. Shout out to the people that's gonna come in. Just see somebody going live. Oh, got the watermelon again. All right, so we here. All right, let me go ahead and get these trolls out the way, and I'm gonna come back to 'em. So, dealing with trolls, you know, you have some people that are officially real trolls. Like they have a channel and a guy by the name of Grandmaster Troll. It is their mission to go on there, make you feel bad, like out you about things, because this is the thing. It goes against the lifestyle of the Joneses that I'm talking about. A lot of people put on and a lot of people try to put themselves in positions bigger than they are. So you literally have people come online, pretend to be people they're not, put themselves in positions to be better than others and look down on people. And in return, they're not that. You know, they're not the ones who, have these lavish lifestyles. They're putting on like they're having a lavish lifestyle. Technically speaking, they're not, you know. They're putting themselves in positions to say, you can obtain this type of wealth or you can be like me under these circumstances if you have 1995 or you do a $1,000 course, I can teach you this life. No. Those are the ones that, kind of should be trolled because, you're fabricating things, taking money from people, outsourcing stuff that's not to be true. But then you have the trolls that actually just sit here and critique people for everything. Prime example, there was a lady, she had a tattoo on her right hand, and another video she had a tattoo on her left hand. So there's like the tattoo's fake, you doing a temporary tattoo each time, but the lady used her front camera sometime and she used her back camera sometimes. And so there hence the difference between the hands when you're doing the pictures. And they just trolled her for that, but is that really considered trolling? Malika, what's going on? Is that really considered trolling because you're critiquing or getting on somebody about something that they're doing to be false? So is that really considered trolling? Is it or is it not? So you're going into, different things. You might have a situation to where, you know, people out here doing things far as, lying about things and they're lying because if you did something. Now you want to taunt them about their lies. Is that considered trolling, or you just calling them out, calling bull crap where bull crap is meant to be called out on? So, getting the forms of trolling right and having an understanding with that, what is really trolling, what is just picking on somebody for lying and telling the truth, whole nother meaning, whole nother ball game. But like I said, when it comes down to it, a lot of people do it. I mean, I've done it before where somebody said something that's not true, and I called them out on it, but I wasn't, just going at them full force. It was just, hey, I don't think that's right. I've been in this situation. I've done this. I've done that. I don't think you're telling the truth about that. You know, Prime example. There was a situation yesterday. I was listening to a podcast where a guy was getting called a liar because he said if he wanted to, he could have lived off the military base. I think as an E3 or something, and they were saying, well, you don't make enough money to live off base, especially if you're not married. And the guy was explaining to him, well, Mr. Frugal Mama, how you doing? Just caught the tail end of your live. I shared you out. And when it come down to it, the guy was just basically running on to this thing to saying, yeah, man, I could have stayed off base, but I chose not to. And it's not saying because even this guy he been in the military for years and he got out, I think early in the 90s. So he was still living off the old way of doing things to where typically people who are married live off base. So, you had that moment. And it was just a whole back and forth. you can say it was trolling, but it was just to me a casual argument. Going into the situation. Sarah, how you doing? Sarah, now this is the funny part. Let me explain something quick. So I've always been on the live, and I've never really got a lot of people's channels. So I tend to kind of grab people's channels when I'm on other people's channel. And I grabbed a channel today. I was like, it's simple just to pull your name up, but sometimes it's not as simple as that. But like I say, hey, I got you now, and I'm gonna be watching your videos, Sarah. And but like I say, lo and behold, it's just like when it comes down to it, people are critiquing people's videos. To me, in my opinion, is not to the point of being trolling. The trolling aspect when you know just steady completely taunting and going at people's channel, then more or less that's the trolling. Now, the moment I want to really talk about is the keeping up with the Joneses. All right, so the crazy part is people online are characters, you know, um, from movies, from TV shows, or just naturally in real life. So, Key, what's going on? Key's Kitchen, what's going on with you? So, you technically can be anybody you want to be online. And a lot of times you get people who try to sell you a lifestyle. And, we all, to a degree, call it keeping up with the Joneses or trying to, you know, live high on the hog. People say as well, too. And Sarah, I got to get you a rich. Let me hurry up and do that real quick. I had to do some quality control. But basically, when it comes down to it, the crazy part is a lot of people are living a lifestyle that they really don't naturally live. And that's the crazy part about that is a lot of people are renting things. One of the biggest scammers I seen online was a guy by the name of Hush Puppy. And Hush Puppy literally, Queena, what's going on with you in the building? Hush Puppy literally started off taking some clothes, buying them, saving his money up, buying a couple of little small nice clothes, get some polo, which is polo is not that expensive, and getting some nice jeans, shoes, took pictures in them and took them back. You know, just kept recycling the money on things. Kept recycling the money. Take it back, take it back, take it back. Then he went from doing that to making a little more money to, just taking pictures in front of cars as he's going down the street to actually paying people to sit in the car, start it up on a video and, elevated itself by going to rent a plane for a day and actually paid somebody $1,200 to just sit in a private jet, board a private jet with bags and everything. Of course, the bags were things that he bought in return, but it was a lifestyle that he gave people to a point to where everybody started following him. He started telling them how he can teach them how to be rich, show them different ways, showing courses, and people wanted to live that lifestyle. And so they started giving him money, and he was giving them small little things to do, invest and things, and some were making money, some wasn't. And it was ultimately to a point in which he said, well, if you want to get greater, these are the things you have to do to elevate yourself. And it was just like crazy, like I say, going into the YouTube world, even social media influencers. A lot of people who are influencers getting free trips, getting free things to, promote products. One of the biggest shows I watch far as products, uh, um, Unbox. I think it's called Unbox Therapy. And Unbox Therapy get tons of free things. I'm talking about everything from Bluetooth speakers, consoles. One time he had a company that had a, what was it? A Nintendo Switch, a Xbox, and a PlayStation, all three in one console. And I'm sorry, and a gaming computer. So it technically looked like a desktop for people that, of an age appropriate. There's a desktop that they have, and it's a console of a desktop that has slots for your CDs, for your games. Had the Nintendo Switch that you can push it in there, and it's a charge port, and it has a cooling system that keeps the game cool for when you play. It has a water cooling system. I mean, it was just crazy, but this thing was given to them for free. You know, there were other Bluetooth speakers that they got for free, and people just giving them, and they gave their reviews, honest opinions. So whether it was good or bad, they knew how to critique their products. They knew how to get it out to the mass where people will say, well, if he likes it and he give a good review, then people will buy it. And, you know, pretty much it was the deal because they sold a lot of those consoles. You talking about four gaming styles in one, at least about $1,200. But this is for the mature expert or stylish type, that people that play games a lot. Now, you have a just a regular YouTuber. How could they get that much promote for people to, come to them? They start off small, just like that company. And the only way to, kind of boost their views and stuff, where people do this, they buy views, they buy subs, and ultimately, until when they get themselves on their feet, then they start looking, as the promoted channel. But that's the thing. A lot of people try to cut corners. Just like the whole notion of being rich. A lot of people cut corners in trying to be rich or looking to be rich. Like I said, there's a lot of people on YouTube, social media influencers and all, don't like calling names for the most part, but these people show themselves in a bigger light than they normally are. They will be the ones to say, hey, if you want to look like this, be like me, this is what you need to do. Buy my course, you know, promoting this, promoting that. I'm giving you a lifestyle in which if you follow the course that I give you, you can be rich, you know. And we see this all the time. We have a lot of YouTubers that say, hey, I bought this nice car. Hey, I bought this, I bought that. A lot of these things are lease. A lot of these things may be rentals. You know, everything is obtainable now for the right price. You can actually go and rent a Lamborghini for a whole week for about $1,200 to $1,500. You can actually go and rent a podcast studio to do your podcasting in. I remember when a lot of people were doing podcasting in a room, in their garages, basements, any little small place. There's a guy in which I've never really watched his channel, but what's her name? Erica Williams talked about this guy. He podcasts for years in the same room. It was a wood panel background, and he had his light, little picture or whatever back there in the back. Don't you know this guy actually went and bought a house, made sure he had a basement, and recreated that same wall, same everything. So when he does his podcast, they're all right there looking the same because he didn't want people to see the growth in his channel because then they may stop looking at him. You know, you got to understand the same way you look at people that are trolls, it's the same form of dealing with the haters. You know, when you get to a certain status where they say the haters gonna hate, ballers gonna ball, and it gets to a point in which you have to start looking at what is, things are gonna make your channel grow. Do I have to do this in order for myself to, have things better, have things worse? Like, how is this helping me? And that's the thing when it comes to a lot of people that, do your lives and, you know, you're at the mercy of trying to be the or do something that's going to actually make you, money or long term. Prime example, I seen this one guy. He ended up buying a box of Pokemon cards for $11,000 because he seen the guy. What's his name? Jake Paul. Um, bought these box of Pokemon cards. He paid 15,000, and he ultimately got one card. I think it was like $100,000 card. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the same thing that this guy's doing." So turn around, this guy goes buy a Pokemon. He did the pros and cons of how his videos look and how many videos he can get off of it compared to buying it and hopefully getting a nice card that he can make at least 2,000 off the card and so much off the YouTube views because he actually had a productive channel. I wouldn't consider doing this without a productive channel because in the event of anything going on with you buying this, you're stuck with it. Even if somebody sends you a bad pack, because I've seen videos with my son where people have sent Pokemon boxes and they resealed all the cards. They buy resealers, they take the good cards out, shuffle some bad cards in, reseal the pack, because you're not going to get a good card every single time. It's just not going to happen. You know, that's why Pokemon has been in business so long. It's like a rarity to get certain cards that can say, "Hey, look at this." And like I said, just in general, this guy spent $11,000 on the cards because he seen the guy Jay Paul did it, and lo and behold, he got lucky. He found, I think, one card for like $6,000 or $7,000. Wonder morning to you. He found one card for $6,000 or $7,000. So, he was good. He was out of pocket about 3 or 4 thousand that he needed, and he got that back from his YouTube views. Now, considering me, myself, and my channel doing it, I don't get enough views to actually go and spend $11,000 on a Pokemon cards and do that. And also, my channel isn't centered around a lot of Pokemon and kid things. Even though it's centered around money and spending, I could do that for a review. But looking at that, I don't think that's a thing that I would want to do for my channel. Now, something of spending $100 and just showing the outcome of that. Because my son, he collects Pokemon. He told me about a website that you can go on and take a picture of the Pokemon card, and it actually shows you how much money that card is worth. And it gets to a point to say, hey, if you're taking pictures or you're doing this collection thing, you might make money, you might not, you know. And that's the thing. Everybody has wrenches in here. I always forget to say this. You guys can go check out each other's channel. Those are what the wrenches for. It makes it easier for you just to click on the person's name, sub, and check out channels. I don't enforce people to go and sub to everybody, but I always say, hey, go check out each other's channel. Maybe it's some information or something worth your watching, you know, to a degree. But like I said, a lot of times these YouTubers, these influencers, especially with the influencers, you have influencers that get free trips. Prime example, there's another channel I was watching where the lady was stating that there's an influencer, she gets trips on JetBlue for free because she's promoting the brand JetBlue, and they give her like a pass, like that. I think it is Frontier has a pass, Spirit has a pass, to where you pay at minimum $300 or something like that for 3 to 4 months, and you get to fly unlimited for that time frame. Now, there's stipulations behind it, but I wouldn't say you flying every single day. I mean, because literally that's not obtainable for most. They look at you flying on the weekends. They look at you flying every so often because you literally got to have the time, and you got to have it to where you can go and come back and still be equipped. So more or less in general, having that time frame in which you can fly like that, she was able to do that because that's all she does is influence. You know, Also, she ended up getting a trip going to what is it? I want to say it was like the island St. Thomas or something. They gave her all inclusive to go to St. Thomas. The hotel was paid through them. All she had to do, and it was all inclusive. All she had to do was just pay for traveling outside of the the compound of the resort. So the drinks, the food, everything was included. They have small things that you can do at the resorts, but the major attractions going on the boat rides, the glass floor rides for the boats, snorkeling, all that stuff. I'm quite sure that they gave her a package deal on that to get her to come there because she has a lot of influences. She traveled, so that's the thing. Now, this is the good and the bad of it. When you're spending your money to do this, at a cost, you're gonna have to coop that money back somehow. Now, this where the point of being married takes flight, and you know, your significant other, will be husband or wife, who's ever doing the influencing, they can help you along your journey till things take off, or you just work your regular job until things promising and it takes off, or better yet, you know, you just have to bite the bullet and just work for these places and also obtain this glory of doing it. Because I've known flight attendants that go and fly everywhere, and they show these strips of them flying and become an influencer and quit their job ultimately. And, they get sponsored through the company that they left, or someone else picks them up and sponsors their trips, because if your channel's doing good, people will actually pay to promote your channel. So that's a thing that people can do it on the influence side that way, or more or less, you can, like I say, keep up with the Joneses. Go to the airport. You know, Back in the day, before, you could always just go to the airport, sit there. You know, you can't go through the terminals like you do now. They're blocked off. Homelands, did it, but for the most part, before I think it was 9/11, a lot of people just go to the airport, go in there and just sit up there and wait on people. You know, Even with going in, there's nothing wrong with the entry of the airport, baggage claims, all that, picking people up. You can go there, do a short video, jump back in your car, drive off. No harm, no foul. But going in there, sitting there, buying food there, that's not a thing no more. And like I said, going into situations, a lot of people are literally just influencing by doing such. You know, Sitting in the car that's not theirs, as long as somebody, let them do it. Standing in front of a car, snapping pictures, say, man, this is a dream I got here. You know, uh, Going into somewhere to where you're cleaning a house, and the owner's not there. You go out there, put on you a nice shirt, and say, "Man, dreams and goals. Take a picture." You know, a lot of people influence. I've done to the point where I've taken pictures, but I've told people, like, hey man, this is a nice car. I wish I could afford this. This is a nice house. I've told you I've moved furniture back in the day, and I work for a moving company. So I've always took pictures around nice houses, nice area, land. I've taken pictures on the side of a hill, and it was never really my big thing to say, this is my house. I'm stunning and faking, because the people that know me go back into reality and say, well, you can't afford this. This is not obtainable for you. I mean, we know this, so it's like you can fool other people that are not in your circle, but the people in your circle will catch on real easy. So, like I said, the influencing side, it comes with a cost that you have to be the fake. For the ones that be real, they get real results. The one that fake, they might blow up, they might not, but it's a chance that people take. Even with the trolling side, like I said, there are people calling out the bull crap and things that people are doing. Is it trolling or is it not? But to the extent, people that actually, just are hard trollers are just coming straight to channels just to get on them, just to critique them, just to say anything to make them feel bad. That is the real strength of a troll. Miss Stewart, how you doing? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a minute. I'm gonna have to always go back through and check my channels a lot, because I know I don't get a lot of notifications sometimes. But we all know the status of the um, platform changes, and when the platform status changes, things change, and it wills with that. Third in the building, what's going on, Third Ward? But like I say, getting into it, I'm about to get ready to jump off in a minute. A lot of times, man, people will influence, or just be this whole grandioso channel to try to get you at a status. They saying that, hey, what's going on, Bronze? My channel is good because I drive a Range Rover, I drive a Lambo. A lot of those things could be rented. Mills, what's going on? I seen you over there at Bolo the other day. How you doing? How you doing? A lot of times, like I said, the status of keeping up with the Joneses. I'm wearing these nice clothes. I'm taking them back tomorrow. I got this nice jewelry on. It's from the flea market. Like, a lot of times you can buy these things and return them. Like I said, they literally, and I'm actually wanting to do a video like this, and this is gonna be like a big video where I'm gonna go to places, find out how much it costs, because this guy was looking at him and he was saying this on a video, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna do the research and look up this. You can literally go and have a section of a jet, a private jet, framed out and rent it for $80 an hour. So you're literally paying $80 to take pictures, to move around, as in a private jet set. Podcasting now, like I said, podcasting used to be a thing to where you did it in your basement. A lot of people didn't have money. They actually do it in their car. They podcast, put um the mount up, sit in the car, talk about things, because that was the set. That was where you did things. There was no other real places. There are people that are outdoorsy, that don't want to, try to just do things out of the ordinary. They just want to be in nature. They podcast outside. They talk about things outside. But then you have the people that, I should say, I don't really want to get on Gilly in them, but $1 million worth of game. Because $1 million worth of game was started on Instagram, where they were going back and forth, but literally having the set, and paying money, because you literally have to pay money for the engineer, you have to pay money for the set. All these things cost, and to a degree, you're looking at a status in which, hey, I have to pay for these things, which I don't have the money now, but I could get the money later. A lot of people use credit cards for podcasts. They're renting places now. They have mansions where you can rent a mansion. I believe what is these guys? Fresh and Fit, one of the podcasters. These guys were renting an apartment to do podcasting in, or whatever the building or whatever, but they renting this place out every month. So when you get to a status where you make so much money, hey, that's the thing to where you're actually doing it. Even with me, majority of the time, I'm always on the go. I'm either in my work truck, in my car. I rarely sit at home and do videos. There's a few videos I do. That's why majority of the time I always have my thumbnail up because I'm always constantly moving around and the camera's jerking. It's just easier for me just to put a picture up and keep it moving where I can talk on the go, moving everything, move around as please. But when it comes to a point, like I say, a lot of people are just fabricating a life. Even with the course people that sell you courses. What does the course entail? A lot of the things that people set up in these courses, or a lot of things that people are already teaching, and you can learn online yourself. Now, the point of being lazy to where which most people don't want to do the research, then pay for the course because that's what you're doing. You're paying for the convenience of everything to be in one set area versus all scattered and you trying to figure it out. So to a degree, that's what you're paying for in most cases. You're paying for the information in the cluster bar right here. And then you have to understand there's levels to these paid courses to where if you buy the small course, you don't get all the information unless you buy the top tier course. Top tier course give you everything, so-called one-on-ones. And the people who are selling these courses, majority of the time, they're taking courses from somebody else, recreating the wheel in which they say and they just repeat and sell it to you. Any question or issue that they have, they'll just go back and just ask the person that they paid the course to. Prime example, I got a family member that wanted to learn about stock options. They went from spending 500, 1,500, $2,000, and everybody was teaching him the same thing. He ended up biting the bullet, which personally I didn't agree with. He spent $5,000 on the options course. That $5,000 on that option course made him, I think it was 40,000 within 6 months. And I was like, well, it was worth spent, you know. And he's still, maintaining his level of money as it right now to this day. And it comes with, do you want to spend the big money? Do you want to spend a little money? And the thing of it was the reason why he spent that 5,000, which been telling him about, research these people, research the people who buy these courses, and how good are these courses actually influencing their lives. Who else is talking about this? Because if something is good, you're going to get a buzz off of it. People are going to talk about it. You're not going to get a lot of paid people. You're going to have a lot of people talking about it. Even the paid people going to make it sound good, but to a degree, you got to look through the fluff, and that's what the guy um kept promoting to everybody. And the family member, that's what they did. They looked through the fluff, found this person through the fluff, and ultimately came up with this guy being a better option. And like I said, $5,000 and making 40,000 in 6 months is worth it. All the other people with just basic information, teaching you about candles, teach you about the levels, teach you about the peaks, all the basic things that everybody know in the stock market and trading. But this guy go a lot, pretty much farther with the detail, doing research, gaining knowledge before you make your trades, or don't be not being an impulse buyer, you know, because the way you buy is all determined by the way you feel, in which in most cases. And a lot of times people have these notions to where they say, hey man, I feel good today, but you're stressed because if you make the wrong decision, you just messed up the whole money for the month. You just, paid the mortgage on the options trade and lost all that money. compared to the person that, you know, is doing this with extra income that they make from a side hustle or they have sitting to the side and not using, that person's going to be a little more, cool and relaxed about buying. So, like I said, going into it, lifestyles of the rich and famous, keeping up with the Joneses, all this, you have a lot of people who are influencers all across social media trying to use social media for their profit off of you. So, like I say, even giving money and donations, all this, a lot of people, there's channels that won't even bring the podcast that they come to see for you available unless you give them money. If you don't give them money, then you can't see the work that you've come to see. And I think that's kind of rough. I think more or less if you have good content, people are just going to give money regardless, you know. And it's up to what's going on, Dr. Dunbar, big discussions, what's going on, how you doing? So people are going to just give money more or less just because, you know, and stating that if I come to a podcast just to see a podcast and I like the channel or podcast, wherever it may be, I'm going to spend the money. Personally, it's just me. I don't really give as much money anymore, technically, since my Cash App is gone, but I more or less try to give more of my money towards Cash App than actually to the channels itself, due to you getting all your money with a Cash App. And majority of the time, people who do have Cash Apps or whatever, they have to send the money through, because you can also send, I think Venmo lets you send money through emails as well instead of phone numbers. So, it's a good thing to support channels. There's nothing wrong with that. But to have people forcing and selling courses that don't ultimately do anything, because like I said, when it comes back down to it, it's the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I can give you this perception. Sorry. DJ Run in the building. What's going on with you, Run? Caught Run this weekend. I told my wife, Run, I said, man, I said, this was a bad time. I should have jumped and said, hey, Ron, did you drive your car? I want to go out there and see your car, man. But I always see your videos, man. I say it's good to probably go see it in person. But it'll be another time for that, DJ Ron. But like I say, when it come down to it, when a lot of these channels and a lot of these influencers are selling you something, if it's worthwhile, there's nothing wrong. You know, you be the one that has that, depicting saying that, hey, this is a good option for me. This is something I need to invest in. This is something I need to buy. But with all investments, they always tell you it come with risk. You might not get any information from that course. The things that they're selling, you might already know. But that's the whole point of doing your research and typically looking into the people that you're, ultimately trying to buy with, deal with. Bunny Rose, what's going on? Because like I said, when it comes down to it, this whole lifestyle and perception is what they're trying to get you to see. If I drive this nice car, I can rent this car from Toro. I can rent this car from different websites and ultimately show you, hey, I'm driving this car today, I'm driving this car tomorrow. These are not even my cars. I can go and rent 3 cars right now, go rent a mansion, put all these cars in the mansion in front of the mansion doors and say, man, it's hard living like this, but it comes with a cost. I can promote this, I can show this, go rent me a suit and just give the facade, get people on board. I actually probably gonna start doing some of these videos and shorts like that, just to show you how, hey, I can go rent this car. I might even go on Toro today, do a short video showing you guys how I can rent this car and do this and do that. I mean, just how simple it is. Like I told you, the guy Hush Puppy, one of the biggest scammers, he actually started off just buying, just simple, nice clothes like polo, Levi jeans, buying them from a store and taking them back to going in front of people's cars, taking pictures as he's walking down the street, to the point of actually giving them money to let him sit in the car and hold the keys, pull the keys out his pocket. You know, of course he have someone sitting in there like, hey, this is my friend, so he won't drive off with the car. But that's the cost of doing business. Someone that owns a car, let's say someone owns a Lamborghini, you see a nice Lamborghini, you be like, hey man, let me put the Lamborghini keys in my pocket. Right? Well, Hogany, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good morning. Taking the keys, putting it in your pocket, and sitting in the car with the owner. It's like, hey man, this is my friend. We about to go get something to eat. Give him $300. This guy like, man, $300 just to sit in my car and hold my keys. $100 to sit in my car, hold my keys. Of course he's gonna take that. That's easy money, you know. And like I say, the same rule apply with most. When renting a house, there was a rapper by the name of Lil Dicky. He went to a mansion and told the people that he wanted to film a rap video outside in their lawn in front of their nice house. And the people agreed. Some of the people actually got in the videos. Some of the people actually pulled out their cars and showed their nice Rolls Royce, Mercedes Benz. It was all just to say, for his video, you don't need this lavish lifestyle. You can take what you already have or just ask people, put it all edited in, and there you go. And I mean, it was crazy, but at the end of the day, this guy put it out there, and hey, it, no, the results followed. So, like I said, at the end, living this lifestyle of lavish, man, and keeping up with the Joneses is easy obtainable with a little money. Same thing with the trolling. You got to watch out for the trolls, because when it comes down to it, there's a lot of people that could be trolling just for the sake of, just always getting on you about everything. And then there's people that are actually people call trolls. They're just critiquing your things. And a lot of times people will call things out. Hey, if you're lying, you're lying. If you're capping, you're capping. You know, people just don't want to be called out. So to a degree, like I said, there's real trolls out here that troll people, that just their whole dire need is just to critique your channel. Like I said about the lady who had a tattoo on her right hand in one video, tattoo on her left hand in the video. It was because she used the front and back camera. So when you have that camera flip, you see most people who drive in their cars, they look like they're driving on the right side when they do the videos, and it's because of the camera flip, you know. So keep that in mind. Hey, it always come to a point where people have to say something or have a rebuttal about certain things. And hey, like I said, keep it in mind. It is what it is, to a degree. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like the disrespect, but that's the thing of a troll. They don't know you. They can say what they want to say and think that it's okay. No problem. Just like I say, you have people that are out here that's, putting out a lifestyle. Nobody knows people online. I could be anybody. I've said this several times. There's a guy, Charles Fartner. He's a police officer. And I would always say I can be him. All I would have to do is read up on a couple of police codes of conduct, come in and be professional, wear something like a suit that resembles an officer's uniform, have a badge on it. That's a security badge. You know, I don't have to have the actual thing. I can go rent these things and wear them. Like I said, I could be anybody. Uh, Shout out to Dr. Dunbar. He always talks about STEM and everything. He's in that field. And just because his status being a doctor, I can mimic his channel, mimic the things he do. Shout out to Big Discussion 76. And I can mimic everything around him and just ultimately, hey, get into that status, you know. But like I said, I'm about to get ready to jump off of here. About to go make some money. And at the end of the day, hey, follow who you want to follow, do who you want to do, but there's risk and there's rewards. Find out which one you want better. You want the risk or you want the reward. With that being said, shout out to everybody. Yeah. You talking about Charleston White? Yeah. If you're talking about, but when it comes down to it, like I say, when I always jump off of here, number one thing, we here and we gone. Peace. Thanks everybody for coming.